The first thing you notice at Belmont Farms Distillery are the cornfields you pass on the way in from the highway. The second thing you notice is the sweet smell of corn mash. There's a unique mix of traditional and modern whiskey production here. While the gift shop displays the old-fashioned methods of cooking moonshine, it's an efficient business back in the distillery.
We still raise our own grain right here. We plant our corn. You can see our corn crop coming in. It's off to a good start. We've had a lot of rain. We've been going through about 100 acres of corn a year. Well, this year we're up to 100. We were 75 last year. And we store the grain right over here in our grain tanks, right on the farm here.
Chuck Miller uses a recipe passed down from his own grandfather for the distillery's signature product, Virginia Lightning, 100% corn whiskey. When he started cooking in 1987, there were no other craft distilleries in the U.S. He was the first small producer to wade through the paperwork.
So I called up, well, back in that era was the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco and Farms, told them what I wanted to do. No small guy had ever called before, you know. They said, yeah, you could do it, but you got to fill out some of these forms. They must have sent me a package of forms yay thick. Took me a year to get through them. I'd fill them out, send them in, they'd grade them and put red ink all over it and send them back. And we kept doing that for a while. And then they finally sent an agent out, and we went over them together and got it all right, and they let me get started.
Today, there are several hundred craft distilleries in the U.S. and at least 10 in Virginia. Miller's son-in-law, Jay Durkee, is now the master distiller, taking over day-to-day duties. It might sound like a dream job for some, but it comes with its challenges.
Well, our days are typically 12 to 13 hours. So we get here around 6 to 6:30, so we can go to bed at a reasonable time. But we show up, we start pumping things around. Every day we're cooking, every day we're distilling, every day we're moving whiskey or some spirit around, cutting it, filtering it. So it's a big process, and it usually takes all day to get it done. The quality is very important to us. Everything's hands-on here. I mean, we've updated some of the machinery, but still there's a hand on every single part of the process to make sure it's done right without computers telling us what to do.
Durkee says with growing competition, they're always seeking an edge to stay ahead, but Virginia consumers have been faithful customers, and they're working to make their products stand out. Miller says another key to their success is determination. He and his wife had to lobby the Virginia legislature to win approval to sell their whiskey on site. So they found a friendly legislator and helped write a bill.
It was kind of funny. When they went in for the final vote, you know, you kind of stand there and they read the bill, you know, and there's like 20 of these state senators sitting there. And then they read the bill and they asked, any objections? You know how they do it. And one guy raised his hand, one of the senators. He said, yeah. Did he bring a sample? And then the guy in charge put the hammer down. Bill passed. Next. So we got it changed, and because of that, now you can sell here.
One reason American-style moonshine whiskey is distinctive is because it's generally not aged. Producers sold it as quick as they could, usually just to stay ahead of the law. Miller says that's why his Virginia Lightning is a bestseller. His recipe tastes smoother on the tongue than other moonshine.
But now, since there's so many distillers out there and they're making so many different products, I don't want to get left behind. So we are coming out with other products now too. So we have vodka that's currently on the shelf. We have other types of moonshine. We make moonshine for some famous people.
Durkee says his favorite of all their spirits is their new aged whiskey, Copper Kettle.
It's got a double wood aging process before we put it into the barrel. We use Virginia oak and we use Virginia apple wood that's charred right here behind me. And we soaked that for 2 months, so we're going to be doing that with our other products too.
But if I'm going to sit down with a cigar, you know, in the evening and smoke my cigar, I'm going to sip on that Copper Kettle Virginia whiskey. That is really good stuff to sit there. It's aged 4 years in the barrel. And I'll just sit there, sip it, and smoke my cigar.
Some of the bottling machinery is showing its age, but the group's website and social media marketing are very modern. That's a blend for success that's kept Belmont Farms Distillery going for decades. And Miller hopes this American tradition will continue for generations to come.